Alright mates, how's it going? In today's video, episode 7 of Lord of the Clans by Christie Golden. Let's go! Thrall was fully aware that Taretha had pointed out where the internment camps were specifically so that he could not go there, and that she'd mentioned that there were some free orcs living out in the wilderness somewhere, but he had no bloody idea where they were, or if they were even still alive. However, he knew for certain that there would be orcs at said internment camps, so that's where he was going. He didn't choose the nearest one. That would be dumb. He picked one that was several leagues away from the fortress he'd spent his entire life in. And as he jogged his way towards his chosen destination, his mind raced. Would these orcs even be able to understand his speech? Or was it so tainted by a human accent that even basic conversation would be impossible? What if they challenged him? He didn't want to fight them. Would he even be able to fight them? According to the books he'd read, orcs were fierce, proud, unstoppable warriors. But it wasn't all anxiety and worry in Thrall's mind. He was also excited. Maybe he could find his clan, his family. Thrall ran all night, only stopping to rest once the sun had already begun to rise. He'd needed to put as much distance between himself and Durnhold as possible. Meanwhile, Blackmore had never been angrier in his entire life. He'd been roused from his slumber, alone, because the Foxton girl had claimed she was ill or something. The clamour of bells had drawn him to his window only to see billowing orange flames across the courtyard. He'd raced to join the rest of Durnhold's populace to try and contain the blaze, but it had taken several hours to get the fire under control.
It's a miracle no one was hurt, not even the animals. There's no way they could have escaped on their own. Can't be certain, my lord, but we may be looking at arson.
You really think so?
Who'd want to do something like that? I'd count all my enemies on my hands, except I'd run out of fingers. Plenty of bastards out there jealous of my rank. And my... Lothar's ghost.
Tammis and Langston stared inquisitively at the Lieutenant General, but he didn't have time to voice his concerns. Instead, he just suddenly bolted. What is it? Blackmore raced back into the keep, through a bunch of corridors until finally reaching a door that had been smashed to pieces. Shit. His worst fear had come true.
Tammis, I want men. Horses. Flying machines. I want Thrall back immediately.
Meanwhile again, Thrall was currently in the deepest sleep he'd ever had. The soft grass beneath his body, the breeze caressing his face. So this was freedom. It was glorious. However, that deep slumber was then interrupted by a spear prodding him in his neck.
Get up.
Thrall opened his eyes to see a bunch of human faces peering down at him and cursed under his breath. Two of the men maintained their proddy spear positions, whilst the rest began to rummage through his bag of runaway stuffs.
Plenty of food here. Good stuff too. We'll eat well tonight, lads. It's Major Remke who'll be eating well. Not if she don't know about it, and we ain't going to tell her. And looky here, a knife. Stole all this, did you? Guys, come on. You know we have to report all this. And what if I don't? What are you going to do about it? It's what I'm going to do about it that ought to concern you, Holt.
Another man then approached.
The rules exist so that we can keep an eye on the orcs. This is the first one we've seen in years carrying a human weapon. It's worth reporting. And as for these...
Thrall then felt a pit in his stomach, for this man was now leafing through all of the letters that Taretha had ever sent.
Don't suppose you can read, can you?
All the others burst out laughing, but it seemed this man was being deadly serious. He approached Thrall, thrusting the letters into the orc's face.
You. Read.
The man then proceeded to point at Thrall, and then at the letters, and then at Thrall, and then at the letters. So Thrall played the part of just another savage, and shook his head violently.
He looks familiar to me.
They all look the same.
Well, it's too bad none of us can read. These papers probably would have told us a lot.
At that, Thrall sighed in relief, quietly to himself.
You're always dreaming above your station, Warwick.
The man, apparently called Warwick, then shoved the letters back into the bag.
Come on, pack the food back up. Let's take him back to camp.
A short while later, the group of men had indeed dragged Thrall back to their camp, and upon arrival, the first thing that struck Thrall was the smell. It smelled like shit.
Look at him, wrinkling his nose. Been away from his own kind too long, looks like. Forgotten how bad they smell.
Thrall then felt his bonds loosen, so he picked himself up, and immediately stared in horror. The hell was this? Thrall thought. Were these men drugging orcs or something? That had to be the answer. Orcs were fierce. They weren't whatever this was.
Go on. Food's put out once a day. There's water in the troughs.
Warwick then pointed and waved his hand, as if to dismiss Thrall, so he did as he was told, boldly striding towards a small group of orcs sitting nearby. He could feel Warwick's eyes boring into the back of his head, though, as he walked away.
I swear I've seen him before.
Thrall then reached the small group, his heart racing. He then sat down, took a deep breath, and started to use the small amount of orcish language that he actually knew.
I greet you.
The orcs stared at him, but said nothing, so he tried again.
I greet you.
There was more awkward silence, but one of the other orcs then finally spoke up, and to Thrall's surprise, they spoke in the human language.
Where'd they catch you? You weren't raised to speak Orcish, that much is clear. You're right. I was raised by humans. They taught me only a little Orcish. I was hoping you could teach me more.
The orcs looked at each other for a moment, before bursting into laughter.
Raised by humans? Hey, Krakus, come over here. We got ourselves a good storyteller. Alright, Charmin, tell us another one.
Thrall could feel his chance to connect with these people slipping away.
Please, I mean no insult. I'm a prisoner, like you. I've never met any orcs. I just want...
However, one of the orcs then raised his head, revealing bright red fiery eyes, causing Thrall to fall silent.
So you want to meet your people? Well, you've met us. Now leave us be. Your eyes.
The red-eyed orc cringed, covered his face and hunched away. Before Thrall could ask any of the other orcs what that was all about, they all buggered off as well, leaving him standing alone, thinking about how he'd just severed every tie he'd ever known in order to live his life as a prisoner, in a camp full of people that hated his guts. Great choice, Thrall. Great choice. However...
We were not always as you see us here.
Thrall was surprised to see the red-eyed orc had returned.
Soulless, afraid, ashamed. This is what they did to us. If we could be rid of it, our hearts and spirits might return. Go on. I'm listening.